In the past, you may have heard rules of thumb like you need to be putting away at least 20% of your income, or you need to have a certain amount of cash saved up before you can start investing. But how accurate is any of that really? Make sure you stick around because by the end of this video, you have the answer to that question. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jose Hernandez. This is the Financial University channel, and on this channel we discuss all things investing, wealth building, financial planning, and living your best financial life. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing how much money you should be investing. Before we dive in, if you're serious about your financial future, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you're notified every single time we come out with a new video. This channel is going to be a huge resource for you in your investing and wealth building journey. All right, so let's dive in. First things first, let's clear up the fact that investing absolutely does require money. But the truth is, it does not necessarily have to come all at once. So what this means is you don't necessarily have to have a ton of cash saved up in order to start your investing and wealth building journey. Can there be benefits to investing a large lump sum of cash all at once? Sure, but nobody said it's a requirement. But the truth is, many of us, myself included, are starting from scratch when it comes to building wealth, meaning we didn't have a handout or we weren't given a ton of cash at the beginning of our journeys to get started. And that's totally okay because in reality, there's so many people out there that have been able to become wealthy as investors by simply incorporating investing into their monthly cash flow planning or their monthly budgeting. So what this means is even if you don't have a ton of cash saved up right now, that's okay. You can start investing and building wealth where you are right now as long as you have a steady, reliable source of income. Because one of the best wealth building habits that literally anybody can develop is beginning to pay yourself first. Meaning every single time you get paid, a portion of your income goes towards investing and buying assets that can build wealth and compound in value over time and or pay you as well. We'll look at some numbers here in a little bit, but what I really want you to understand is, especially in the beginning, it's not really just about how much you start investing. It's really more about getting in the habit of investing and building assets. It's just like somebody starting to work out for the first time. It's not necessarily about getting into the gym and trying to lift the most weight or run the fastest mile or anything like that. It's simply about getting in the habit of showing up consistently and doing your workouts and not skipping workouts and getting better at it over time. But going back to the idea of paying yourself first, one of the best ways that literally anybody can start building real long-term wealth is by a process called dollar cost averaging. And dollar cost averaging is simply when you take a portion of your income, either every month or 2 weeks or however often you set it up, and you use that money to acquire assets, whether that's stocks, ETFs, index funds, even crypto, it's all the same. And one of the main benefits of dollar cost averaging is that it simply allows you to just get the ball rolling, and that snowball starts to grow more and more over time. And there comes a time where your money starts working harder for you than you work for it. But to get to that point, you have to get the ball rolling. All right, so now that we know that we don't necessarily need a ton of cash saved up in order to start investing, we still haven't answered the question, how much should I be investing? Is it $500 a month? Is it 20% of my income? Well, the short answer is as much as you reasonably can, but that's not the best answer. The best answer, like anyone with a financial planning background will tell you, is it depends on your financial plan and your financial goals. Rules of thumb like saving 20% of your income or investing a certain amount of money every single month may be helpful for you to get started, but it's not always the most accurate because in some cases, 20% of your income may or may not be enough, depending on your income and depending on your goals as well. If you're someone that's serious about achieving financial independence in your life sooner than later, and your primary means of achieving that is through investing, you're gonna have to get really serious about doing some financial planning so you understand how much you should be investing in order to be on track. And that number for you is gonna depend on the type of lifestyle that you wanna live when you become financially independent. So what this means is this number is going to be unique to you. So 20% of someone else's income may or may not be enough. You need to figure out what this number is for you. As far as figuring out what this number is, you have a couple of different options. Depending on your personal preferences, you can either work with a traditional financial advisor or you can work with a robo-advisor, which many of them actually have some decent financial planning calculators and tools in today's world, or you can use a bunch of different free online calculators as well to get at least somewhat of an idea. The key here is the more serious you are about the goal, the more serious you have to take your financial planning because that's gonna help you get on track to achieving that goal because otherwise you're just guessing. So all that really goes to say it just depends. A cookie cutter answer here is not gonna help you. Now, again, rules of thumb may be helpful for you to get started, which I highly recommend you do so as soon as you possibly can. But again, if you're serious about your goals and you wanna have a true plan in place, you need to be thinking about these things much more strategically. And these are some of the things that we help out with within our Financial University programs. Hey, and by the way, if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. That way you're notified every single time we come out with a new video. It's totally free and the investing gods will bless you for it. All right, so to make this a little bit more real for you, we're gonna look at some numbers to show you the power of paying yourself first. In this example, we have a simple compound interest calculator, and we're assuming that we're starting off from scratch, meaning we have $0 invested to begin with. We're assuming that we're investing $500 per month or $6,000 per year, which is a little bit over 8% of $70,000, which is pretty close to the average annual household income here in the US at least. We're assuming that we're investing over a period of 10 years to give our money plenty of time to grow and compound, and we're assuming a growth rate of 10% on average per year, which is pretty close to the long-term average annual growth rate of the US stock market. Now, you could assume that we could probably get higher returns with some of the investment themes we're seeing in this decade, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to use historical averages. So when we run the numbers, you'll see that we end up with just shy of $100,000 in our investment accounts in wealth over this period of time, simply because we started to dollar cost average. We got in the habit of paying ourselves first. We got in the habit of building assets that compounded in value and started doing the work for us over time. Now, you may be in a position to invest more than $500 a month, which is perfect, and that will definitely help you, or you might not be there yet. But it still stands that it's very important to get in the habit of paying yourself first, because in any case, this is a great way to build wealth. As far as for the free options that you have online for getting an idea of how much you should be investing, this is just one of the dozens of examples out there from the website NerdWallet. And you can see there's a number of different assumptions that you have to make, and it will give you an idea of how much wealth you need to build, how much you need to be investing, the types of returns that you'll need, and so on. Now, I will say none of these calculators will replace a true financial plan, but they'll at least give you an idea, which again is much better than just guessing. So quick example here, these are just defaults. I did not punch this in, but this is saying this is someone that's 35 years old with a pre-tax income of 60 grand, currently have saved $30,000. Every month they are planning on saving $500 or investing $500, and they have some options that you can type in as well to make it a little bit more detailed. It'll give you an idea of how much you want to be spending in retirement or when you become financially independent, if you prefer that phrase. Other expected income sources, if you have those, the age that you want to retire, which is very, very important. It's going to influence the outcome of the calculator quite a bit. And of course, life expectancy, which I highly recommend that you set out for at least 95, because science shows that we're just living longer. And of course, investment rate of return, which is very, very important and also is going to be very influential in the outcome of these projections. But again, it'll give you an idea of how much you'll have saved up in your investments at your target age. It'll let you know around how much you'll actually need in order to get there, and then you'll have some recommendations on how to fill in that gap. It's usually invest more, try to get higher returns, which can be tricky sometimes, or retire later, right? So those are usually the main options that you have, but just wanted to provide you with this quick example. All right, so I know we just went through a lot there together. I want to hear from you. Has this been helpful, and what questions do you have on the subject? Please let me know by dropping them below in the comments. And also feel free to follow me on my other social media platforms. I'd love to connect with you on there as well. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Jose Hernandez. This is the Financial University channel, and we'll see you next time.